So, Kat, can we please talk about love?
Of course.
I was at your meditation the other night and you were addressing love so beautifully, and all I could think about is, yeah, Kurt, but how can I love bindies? Like, who can love bindies? And I know in my own experience of not only my own stickiness, but watching other people's stickiness, of the difference between unconditional love and conditional love, and how much we all seem to only put people in boxes of, I'll love you if you're my boyfriend, or I'll love you with this, or I'll love you if you play that role, but if you don't, I won't. And yeah, how much boundary we set on love rather than being in that unconditional space of all that is, and remembering that we are love, and working with our amnesia that's pulled us away from love.
That's good. Yeah, I feel like that's such a beautiful place of inquiry, to look there and see where we have withheld love for self and where we have withheld love to other. Yeah, our forgetfulness is so often, we have heard throughout our lives, I'm sure in most cases, that like love is life, right? Love is the way. Love is the way back to that space of finding connection and peace and belonging and purpose. That love is that universal remedy that shall rectify all imbalance and all wrongdoing and bring all back to that true space of centeredness. And it is so true, right? But we have forgotten what love really is. We have subscribed to a conditional love, to a love that comes with condition, not unconditional love. And this is no fault of anyone's. It's just that in most cases, human beings haven't been exposed to or had anyone role model or fully embody the essential nature of unconditional love. So how are we to know what that feels like on a receiving end, let alone what that's like on a giver's end, to be in relation to an unconditional love? On the other hand, we have received, in most cases, an exceptional amount of conditional love, right? If we succeed at what we are trying to do, we are given gratification, we are shown love, yeah? Others are proud of us. In so many cases, we've been trying to prove ourselves and be loved by others and uphold this persona that is worthy of love, yeah? In our mental construct of who and what is worthy of love, right? But in having that construct there, it creates a tremendous limitation and a tremendous boundary, right, between ourselves and life. Always trying to prove ourselves, always trying to be something that we deem worthy of love, always casting expectation on other to uphold something, to live in a certain way, to be in a certain way, to provide in a certain way in order to be worthy of our love. It's not unifying. It isn't real love. The essential nature of unconditional love is unity. It's unifying in its truest form. It is to bring together everything that has been put in separate places. It is the glue that holds it all together. It is the space that everything is reconciled within. So exploring love, looking into those parts within ourselves where we are withholding love towards self because we feel we are not worthy, or we are not good enough, or we haven't done enough. Yeah, we haven't succeeded in the way we would have liked. We haven't met our own expectations and the expectations of others cast upon us. Yeah, and if and when I do, then maybe I can love myself and accept myself and appreciate myself and forgive myself. Like, look at that. Look at that right there. What an unnecessary point of pain. What a self-conflicting, abrasive form of self-torture in some way, right? We withhold the very thing that gives us life. We withhold the very thing that reminds us of our place, of our purpose, of our true beingness, because we're trying to live up to some idea that either we have cultivated within ourselves through our own confusion in most cases, or an idea that has been projected upon us, that we should be, we have to be a certain way, otherwise we are failing in some way, we are not enough in some way, we don't belong. Like, what pure nonsense that is, right? So looking into such areas, looking and inquiring, where have I been and where am I withholding love towards self? Firstly, where do I not allow love into my life? Where do I stop others from loving me and being truly caring about me? Right? Where have I put a boundary there and said, you are not allowed to love me? Right? You are not my spouse, or you're not my direct family, so I'll only allow so much love. Right? Why? Love is uplifting. Love gives us vitality. Love makes us feel alive. Love instills a sense of being seen and acknowledged and heard and held. Right? And this is all really essentially a human being desires deep down. Right? And love fulfills all of that. So how can we loosen the shit up a little bit? How can we massage ourselves and help massage the world to let love in, real love, to stop giving conditional love and start being unconditional in our love? Yeah? How can we give love freely? Right? And in doing so, we are freeing ourselves and we are freeing others tremendously. And coming back to what that looks like, right? In a really simple way. And I was speaking to this the other night in my class. To truly be present with one another, yeah, is to show love, to really be here with you. And if you are sharing, if you are venting, if you are expressing, if you are whatever it may be, let me fully receive you. How can I really hear you without needing to project anything, giving opinion on anything, but just being here with you? I feel you, I see you, I hear you, I honor you, I acknowledge you. Right? This is love. You feel seen. How beautiful that is to feel seen. Because our whole life, just like little children trying to get mum and dad's attention, yeah, or teenagers trying to get each other's attention, girls and boys and all of this, right? Or friendship groups. Like, it doesn't matter, but we're always trying to get someone's attention. Look at me, look at me, look at me. Right? We want to be seen, but it doesn't have to be seen in that way, that I have to do something, I have to demonstrate something, I have to capture your attention so you pay attention to me for more than 1 second. We should be in loving relation and able to truly feel like we are seen by those around us. And you are seen when somebody is present, when I'm actually available, and I'm here. I see you. When I'm here, I hear you. I hear what you're saying. Yeah? I don't have to agree with that, right? But I hear you still. That is your truth, whatever you may be speaking in that moment. Yeah, whether it's something I did or I didn't do, or whether it's something completely left of field, has nothing to do with me. Let me still hear you in that, so you may feel heard as a human being. Yeah? And in so doing, you naturally feel held. This person really cares, like genuinely. They're not looking to get something from me, they're just here with me. This is, I feel, the makeup of true authenticity, right? A human being that is authentic has the capacity to unconditionally love, to love all peoples, to love all things equally, and to offer, their presence is to offer their love, to offer that deep and rich quality of listening, of seeing, of holding, of accepting you just as you are, not projecting anything onto you. This is unconditional. I love you for who you are right now, not when you change, not if you change. Right? I don't care about your story. I don't care about the things you've done and the things you haven't done, what you have achieved, what you haven't achieved. I don't care where you're going, where you've been. None of those things are relevant to me. None of those things are relevant or come into the equation of, are you worthy of my love or not? You are. Life, you are worthy. He is life. He is worthy. She is life. She is worthy. Every tree, every plant, every animal.
Even bindies.
Even bindies. Right? Is worthy of that love. Is worthy of that presence. Is worthy of being there fully with it. Right? And I like that poem. We can elaborate further. The bindi, right? The thing that is uncomfortable, the thorn in our side, the thorn in our foot, right? Is a really beautiful teaching in itself. Because some things and some people in life are also prickly. Some things are abrasive, yeah? Some things are rigid and sharp in life, and other things are malleable and soft. Yeah? Don't choose one over the other. Right? Love, as I said, is a unifying. It means all-encompassing. It is the unifying force that brings all together, all polarities, all opposites. It brings and merges back to that center point, between love and hate. It brings it right back to that space of neutrality where the two meet, where the hot and the cold merge and we don't know which is which. Right? The coming and the going, the ebbing and the flowing. This is the natural cycles of things. How can we reconcile those polarities in our life where we are saying, I like this and I hate that? Right? Can we step back further, practice that way of seeing, of I want to unify. The only thing that separates is they're just separated by a degree. They are literally one in the same thing. Just like hot and cold are only separate by degree of vibration. Right? All things that are seeming opposites are one and the same. They're on the same spectrum. It's just a matter of changing the degree. There's only a sequence of degrees between them, and they merge into the same thing. Right? So how can we rectify those polarities? Yeah, because this is our conditional loving. Right? I love this. This is worthy of my love. I dislike that. That's not worthy of my love. These people I choose to love. These people are just strangers I don't love. You have to earn my respect. You have to earn my love, right? Which creates a continuous division. How are we ever going to reconcile if we are keeping everything at bay that we have deemed unworthy? Have you even looked? How do you know? Who are you to judge what is worthy and what is not worthy? What ground do you stand upon with understanding? Do you understand? Do you understand the makeup of that person, of that group, of that place, of that thing? Do you understand the building blocks of it? Why it is the way it is, or why it's demonstrating the way it is demonstrating? Why it's conducting itself the way it's conducting itself? Do you have any idea? In most cases, no. So how can one cast a judgment, criticism, expectation upon that which you don't understand? Right? We should base things off true understanding. Right? This is real. This is the real. Coming back to the real. So we are looking to reconcile the dividing force of conditional love and unconditional love. To welcome that which is conditional back into the unifying field of unconditional love. Accepting the prickles in life, the prickly people in life. How can I bring a bit more ease into somebody's life that could potentially be struggling deeply? And all they desired to have was to be seen, to be heard, to be held, to be accepted. The lack of those things, yeah, the denial of those things to that human being is what created the prickliness in the first place.
Mm-hmm.
You see? So simple. The remedy is right there. Gift presence, gift deep listening, gift that space of I love you just as you are, I hear you just as you are, I see you just as you are, in your pain, in your anger, in your suffering, in your sadness, in your resentment, whatever it may be, I see you, I feel you, I hold you. All of a sudden that person's sharpness starts to blunten, starts to soften. Because all they were looking for is to be seen, to be heard, to be held, to be loved. What they are is just an effect of that causation, of never having anyone that heard them, never having anyone that saw them, never having anyone that accepted them, and always said you needed to be something else. You're not enough. You're not good enough. You'll never be enough. Such heartache. Can you blame them for pushing back? Can you blame them for playing out destructive patterns and behavior? They're hurting, right? It hurts when we are denied what is so fundamental to a state of good well-being in our heart and our mind. Fundamental to children. Children need to be heard and seen and feel acknowledged no matter what. And if that is done, its product, right, its effect, what it produces is a sound human being that lives in that state of harmony. It has a tendency of expressing more unconditional qualities in their love, in their forgiveness, in their ability to be more malleable with life, accepting of all peoples. Yeah? They are something that moves like water. They can ebb and flow. They move into each container and they fill it, yet they are not defined by it. Then they can move to something else and fill it and yet not be defined by it, and again and again and again. So we need to look at this. Over the years, I have been in deep conversation with so many people, and I've seen the one thing that was lacking in people's life was unconditional love. And that people, in most cases, didn't understand what it was to unconditionally love. And held love at bay because it was too scary. I don't want to open myself to love because I might be hurt. I have been in the past. Yeah? But the love I'm talking about is a different dimension of love. Yeah? It isn't conditional. It isn't emotional love. It is something that's all-encompassing. Yeah? It is the life force principle in all things. Love is the animating force. It is like the spirit of life. And when we open to that life, to that love, it animates us. We tend to glow a little more. We tend to see the glow and the hum of life around us, the sparkle in people's eyes, the rich greens in nature, yeah, the smiles on people's faces. We notice the beauty, yeah, instead of just judging everything and not giving anything our presence, not ever seeing and hearing nature. Just as I'm saying we can do with people, we can do with anything. I can sit and hear nature. I can see nature. I can feel nature. I can love and accept her just as she is. Whether it is sunny, whether it is storming, whether it is hot, whether it is cold, I love all of her diversity. Just like I love prickly people, I love sour people, I love spicy people, I love sweet people. I love all the seasons. I love the hot, I love the cold, yeah? I love when the leaves fall off the tree, and I love the spring when everything comes to life again. Everything would be so mundane if it were sameness. Yeah? Love is that rhythm of everything. Love can be cold. Love can be sharp. Love can be soft. Love can be warm. Love can be fresh. Love can be death. Love is all. Right? We need to just shift our attitude towards this unifying principle that can offer so much opportunity for people to come into greater realization, greater understanding, greater relation, yeah? Deepening the quality of one's lived experience, to harness, to tap, to utilize, to embody, and to share love. There is nothing that comes close. Nothing. It's so alive. And it's so readily available. Right? It's like right here. We just need to attune ourselves to it. We just need to let go of the debris of our past amnesia, our forgetfulness. We just need to let those old walls decay and fall away, where we have kept love at bay. We just need to let the entanglement of self-worth and value dissolve away and realize you and everyone are absolutely worthy of love in all of its expressions, and that essentially all is love. Life is love. How can we live in accordance with that flow? How can we drink from that well? How can we tap that vein, right? And have an undying, never runs out. Never runs out. It's always there. One will never be without it. It isn't finite, like so many other things. Love transcends the dimensional barrier. It is infinite in its makeup. Infinite. You are tapping and working with the infinite essence of life itself. It is intelligent, it is alive, it is willing and ready to move, to dance, to be expressed through you. And what we need to do is welcome that guest. Drop the things that have stopped us from being in accordance with it. Remove the mental baggage of belief, and ideologies, and let it guide us into and deeper into the mystery, out of our forgetfulness into our wakefulness. Wake from your dream. Everyone and everything benefits from that. There is no exception. And everyone and everything is worthy of that, without exception. We see. It is simple, and it is right there. And it is scary, I understand. It is scary to change our ways. It is scary to let go of old ways of perception, old attitudes of how we have interfaced with the world. But spring is here. Winter has passed. We let that which was fall away, and the seeds of a new intention to take root and move towards the light, to sprout something brand new. And love is exactly that. It is the freshness in this moment. And just like the glistening of the dewdrops upon the morning grass with the sun reflecting, every little dewdrop holding and the whole reflection of the rainbow, so mesmerizingly beautiful. And as the day warms up, the dewdrops are just evaporating away. Love is as fresh as that, always just there. So magnificent, so all-encompassing. How can we welcome that into our lives? Yeah.
It's really nice. I think in my own experience of every time I feel like I've lost the way of sitting with nature, because it isn't asking anything of me to be like, oh, can I love this, or can I love this more deeply, or to sit there and study a flower and take that moment to be present, give that flower your presence, and remember. And like we spoke about, like it's not necessarily a learning, it's not a teaching, it's a reminder. Do you think that emotional love and our, like, the Disney stories or things like that help uphold the amnesia? Because we all confuse it to be emotional, of, how you said, if, you're not my spouse, you're not worthy to love me, or whatever those things are, that we confuse love to either be sexual or even if it's non-sexual, but like right, wrong, etc.
Yeah, absolutely. I feel like because that has been collectively demonstrated, right, and taught through demonstration, that this is love and this is what love is about. It's about physical, attraction. It's about, it's just spouses and love stays there. obviously a different off branch of that with love with family and friends and things like this, but a lot to do with emotional love, right? If you're not providing me what I require from you, if you're not, say, living in accordance with my love language, then I feel like, a lot of people would say, well, we're not in love, you don't love me, because you're not meeting the things that I feel are important and show me that you love me, and vice versa. If those things are missed, then there would be said to be an absence of love there, right? And because we've modeled it off what has been demonstrated to us, it's been very confusing for so many people. And that's why we must shift out, step out of what has been shown that love is, and pass it through that filter, right? Does this create division and categorization, or is it unifying? If it is not unifying, it isn't real love. If it is categorizing, right, wrong, good, bad, yes, no, then it is not real.
Conditions.
Right. So that is a good, let us use that as our experiment, right? Looking at the love I give and the love I have available towards self and other, yeah, in all of my engagements, is that love I'm giving conditional or unconditional? Right? Am I looking to get something out of this, right? Do I love you and say I love you and tick those boxes only because I want something from you in relationship, right? Or do I do those things with no expectation in return? I do it simply because you're so worthy of that. You're so worthy to be held and supported and protected and provided for, right? I don't want anything from you, right? There's a quality difference, yeah? And that's what people will have to figure out experientially, right? One can't explain a quality of something, yeah? One can't explain the quality of sweetness to someone who has never had anything sweet. Very, very difficult task. Or can't explain color to a blind man. No point of connection to it or comparison. Same thing. One just needs to open to unconditional love. Look at where you are applying condition, yeah, and remove that condition. Give freely. Give freely of yourself. Give freely to yourself. Yeah. And in doing so, you can have a lifetime. This is what all of this discourse is about. And all of the discourses I'm always giving and the pointings is just reminders of how can I work with this? How can I experiment with it so I can see it, feel it, understand it for myself? It's not about listening to the words I'm sharing. It's not about any specific teachings. These are just pointers or reminders, right, of where we can unravel a little of our forgetfulness and welcome in the energy of something that is unifying, harmonizing, and recalibrating naturally the intelligence of life force, of love. That which unifies is going to bring together the whole of you. We only create disharmony when we're not really, all of us is not here. Yeah? When our mind is elsewhere, our emotions are tormented, and our body is neglected. Usually the byproduct of that is something not so pleasurable for self or for other. But someone who is here together, mentally calm, cool, collected, aware, awake, speaks well, holds themselves well, is compassionate, is understanding, is patient, is demonstrating those things, hasn't got an emotional charge that is tormenting them from inside out, doesn't have ulterior motive in their actions or in their words. They're not trying to enforce their will upon others. Right? They are feeling Here, I have welcomed in unconditional love. I am working with that. I am aligning myself with that. All of me is coming back to this one place where I can access all of my potential, all of my intelligence. Right? And when I am there, I find my center. I find stability in self. And when I am stable in self, I naturally feel those waves of tranquility, that sense of ease, like, I'm finally comfortable in my own skin. And if I'm comfortable, I make you feel comfortable, naturally. Because I'm not looking to gain anything from you. I'm available to you. Yeah? You feel seen and feel loved, even if we were just to meet, right? I've had so many people I've met for the first time, and that been one of the reflections to me, which has been really deeply appreciated to hear, is that people say, I've never felt so loved, and I only met you 10 minutes ago. I've never felt so loved even by a spouse, by my family, by my children, right? Because one is comfortable in their own skin, because one is not looking to gain or get anything from anyone, and is just readily giving freely without condition, it can establish such deep and meaningful relationships. And whether that person sees me again or not, I'm sure will never forget that. It will have left an imprint. And I'm very sure that that individual, feeling seen, feeling heard, feeling held, feeling loved, will pay that forward. Naturally, they felt how amazing this was for me. They're going to naturally, without anyone saying anything, start to align themselves to that thing that was reflected to them. They saw in the mirror something they had only dreamt of. They start to naturally calibrate themselves to be that and to share that. And in doing so, deep purpose, deep fulfillment, deep contentment, deep sense of direction and clarity and ease becomes accessible. It's so fascinating. The intelligence and the majesty of love. And for so many people, there is a contraction around love, just hearing love. What's that love shit about? I'm not talking about shit, I'm talking about reality. I'm talking about the essential essence of life itself. The very thing that keeps all of us interwoven together in this great tapestry, right? It is the thread behind the scenes that is woven into everything, right? To me, no matter what that word has smeared on it, right? Whatever meaning it has to you, let's redefine that shit. It's not what you think it is. It's so much more. It's all encompassing. It's infinite value, right? That's exciting. That's worth looking at. If we can tap that power, whoa, we can do some monumental things, and we can impact change on a tremendously large scale by tapping something that is readily available, by just readjusting attitude and perception, yeah? Calibrating naturally, by itself organically starts to calibrate mind, body, soul, action, thought, word, yeah. Feeling satisfied, seen, heard, accepted, appreciated, loved. we will see what that produces. I can already see that vision, but I want people to live it so they can feel it.
Mm-hmm.
Feel it in their bones, pulsing through their bodies, shining back to them through the eyes of others. Watch their environment start to play with them. Start to be in conscious engagement with them. There's this beautiful participation, collaboration. Right? We become co-creators in one's life. Not just getting pushed and pulled by the tides of life, unconsciously floating in, unconsciously floating out, bumping into walls, tripping over each other, the blind leading the blind, only despair and anguish around us, not knowing which way to go, what to do, how to resolve the disorders that are presenting themselves in the world. Here is a universal panacea, the remedy that shall rectify and ignite life in the hearts of every human heart, every human mind. Yeah. Bring vitality back into the cells, into the bones, into the tissues, into the marrow of this earthly vehicle that we are currently wearing. Yes.
It's exciting.
Yes. It most definitely is. And it is worth fighting for. It is worth coming together for. It is worth pursuing, and putting their time and the energy and the effort into that remembrance. It is the gift that continues to give, an infinite gift. Let us come to know that, not intellectually, but experientially. And then, and only then, have we come to truly know it. Let us always strive for true knowingness, not just more knowledge within the mind. I know it in my blood, in my bones. I breathe it. I walk it. I talk it. And I am it. This is the place we must come home to.
Delicious. So interesting, isn't it? I feel like in my own experience of understanding love to a deeper degree was through meditation and realizing that my whole life I'd felt so unworthy of love, and that, if my parents couldn't love me, then how could anybody else? Or those stories that I told myself. But I've always loved love. But I was like, oh, that's for those people. Just, not for me in this lifetime. I'll, sit it out. And then just realizing that it's everywhere. It's right here. And I'm the one that set up all the walls to not have that experience. And it's so funny when I reflect on those moments. And of course, I'm still working on the practice of love. But just the idiocy of my own sleep, like it actually makes me laugh so much. And then, I guess taking more responsibility for that, and then having to practice, and now seeing that we all have the ability to give that person that presence and to give that love, and then just watch the face soften into that love. And it's so exciting, but it's so interesting for different people, chicken or egg, of where they get their first reference point, but in coming back to your original point of like just inquiring, where am I withholding? Mm-hmm. Where am I blocking?
Perfect place to start, right? If the river's not flowing, look at what's blocking the river.
Where are the beavers? Where's the dam?
Go and remove it and the river will flow.
Yeah.
Simple.
And then we can get inflatable toys.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Ride the river down.